your forecast first. Sponsored by Matex Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing.
We just can't seem to get rid of the clouds. We do have more of those today, and we're expecting more of them for tomorrow with a few breaks here and there. But once again, the clouds were able to keep our temperatures at bay into the 60s for a lot of the area. 66 in Springfield, as well as in Decatur, Taylorville, 65 in Mattoon, 63 in Danville, and 61 in Pontiac, which is where we have our Pontiac RV weather camera up on our roofing dog on it. Obviously cloudy up there, too, with winds still out of the east between about 5 and 10 miles per hour. For the rest of the evening, we are going to be looking at mostly cloudy skies with some clearing that's likely going to occur overnight tonight, but we still expect quite a few clouds for the day tomorrow. WCIA 3 News starts right now.
Now from WCIA 3 News.
A man is dead after an early morning shooting, what police know so far. Plus, some changes could be coming to how you cast your ballot in November, why some say it would make it easier for you to vote.
Kept seeing something shiny.
And a ring missing for decades has been found, and you won't believe where it was.
You're watching your local news leader. This is WCIA 3 News at 5.
We definitely have heard gunshots around here before.
This time, a man died after shots were fired at an apartment in Champaign. Good evening, I'm Paul Cicchini. This happened near Country Fair Drive and White Streets at Gramercy Park Apartments around 2 this morning. Police found 25-year-old James Coleman dead. Police are still investigating. WCIA 3's Jamie Mays has more.
Police say Coleman was shot several times.
What they know so far, a group of people was at an apartment when shots were fired inside. Coleman was killed. Several people ran from the apartment. Police are still interviewing witnesses and collecting evidence.
It's just violence, picking up a gun, can't talk things out. And I don't understand why they can't talk things out.
I spoke to friends and people who knew Coleman. They told me he was an athlete and always had a positive attitude. They're not sure why he was killed.
No arrests have been made. Reporting in Champaign, Jamie Mays, WCIA 3, your local news leader.
Police are asking anyone with information about this shooting to come forward. Now, as we first told you on the WCIA 3 News app, a man was arrested in Decatur after police say he forced his way into a woman's apartment and shot another man. Happened at Wabash Crossing Apartments on Martin Luther King Drive around 2 this morning. Police say a man jumped out of the second-story window of an apartment when they arrived. They arrested him after he started running. They also found a gun. The man who was shot was taken to the hospital. Investigators say all three know each other. A 16 and 17-year-old were both shot in the leg in Danville yesterday. Police say it happened on Fairchild Street and Fowler Avenue around 8 o'clock. That's when a car drove up and shot at a group of people. The teenagers were taken to the hospital. If you know anything about what happened, you're asked to call police. We have an update about a house fire that happened this month. The Champaign County coroner says a man died after being hurt in that fire. 72-year-old Willie Ellis died at the hospital on May 13th, 5 days after he was rescued from the burning home on Brookhaven Drive. He was one of 3 people in the home at the time. The fire is still under investigation. A man in St. Joseph was sentenced to 10 years in federal prison. Nathan Ingold shared child pornography. An Urbana police sergeant found it during an undercover investigation. Ingold admitted to police he downloaded pictures of girls to his phone and shared them. He'll also have 10 years of parole after being released. Now to a Target 3 investigation. Cases of COVID-19 in nursing homes are common, so Target 3 looked at the numbers. The State Department of Public Health is reporting in central Illinois. In Sangamon County at the Villa East, 21 people have died, the largest number of nursing home deaths in East Central Illinois. The home also has the largest number of cases in our area to date, with 107. Villa East now outpaces Fairhaven Senior Living in Macon County, which saw an influx of cases last month. So far, 17 people there have died and 85 people have contracted the virus. In Iroquois County, Ascension Presence has confirmed 40 cases and 21 people have died. We have more detailed numbers on our website, WCIA.com. Now to an update from the state on coronavirus. There are almost 2,300 new cases. That brings the total to well over 102,000. 87 more people have died in the last 24 hours, bringing the death toll to over 4,600. At the Capitol now, time is running out for lawmakers to pass a state budget before they plan to leave Springfield tomorrow. Capitol Bureau Chief Mark Maxwell is live in Springfield. So, Mark, the clock, of course, is ticking. Lawmakers have been in a similar time crunch, but not facing similar circumstances. What's the latest there now?
Yeah, the face masks make it difficult to hear what they're saying in some cases. But one thing, coronavirus or not, the details in the budget usually don't come out until the last day. We'll see that tomorrow. But there's still a lot of cases. But one thing, coronavirus or not, the details in the budget usually don't come out until the last day. We'll see that tomorrow. But there's still a lot going on behind the scenes as lawmakers all look for ways to find some sort of a compromise. One thing is certain right now, state leaders and Governor Pritzker are both looking to lean heavily on the federal government to try and fill in budget holes left by the coronavirus.
We have a sincere hope and belief that there will be help that comes from the federal government, because without it, we will, this state and states all across the nation will end up laying off firefighters and police officers and nurses and so many other people, and the services that people need exactly in one of the worst economic circumstances that we've had.
That help could come in two ways, from Congress or from the U.S. Federal Reserve. The state could borrow money there. We also haven't seen much action yet, with still a day and a half yet to go. Governor Pritzker said, hey, miracles can happen in Springfield in just a day and a half. Speaking of miracles, Representative Darren Bailey the Brave, he didn't wear a mask yesterday, and he got booted from the House today. He was back, this time wearing a mask. Reporting in Springfield, Mark Maxwell. Paul.
Yeah, probably better to be back in there with his fellow lawmakers, wearing the mask, having his voice heard as these important negotiations continue to happen. Mark, I know you'll bring us an update if you have one, so please let us know when you do. Mark Maxwell reporting from the Capitol. Mark, thanks. Well, lawmakers in both chambers are reviewing a bill that may make changes to the election process ahead of November. A measure supporters say would make it easier for voters to vote by mail is being debated on the House floor. Now, the bill would require applications to vote by mail be sent to anyone in the state who has voted in the last 2 years. Those against the bill say they are concerned about security.
I think we need to make sure that things are correct and how they should be, and these are going out to the proper people. So we have a lot of concerns about this. The cost to local election authorities is going to be huge as well, with really no promise that it will all be paid for at the end of the day through federal funds.
President Trump, who voted by mail in March, has threatened to withhold federal funding for states that expand voting by mail. Governor Pritzker says he's in favor of making sure everyone who is eligible to vote has access to a ballot. One woman lost a ring 30 years ago. We'll tell you where it turned up this month. Plus, salons will be able to reopen starting next week. But there's one thing owners still aren't sure about.